Aloha! Thank you for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to show you how to plant a young papaya tree into soil. As you can see, I have a few papaya trees here. These ones were started from seeds, and it's the best way to grow papayas from seeds. You cannot grow it from cuttings. So start from seeds, and you can check out my other video, how to grow it from seeds. I like to start them in pots. These are about 2 to 3 gallon pots. That way it has plenty room. So start them in pots, and when it gets to about this size, you can start transplanting it into soil, and it's going to look something like this once it's done. So these ones are already transplanted in the soil. Okay, these are organic non-GMO papayas. And the first thing you're gonna do once you have your starter plants is you're going to dig a hole twice as wide and preferably twice as deep as the pot, or at least the depth of the pot. So dig a hole, and that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so I only got about a foot deep in here. The soil is really poor. It's very clay-like, but you know, a foot of it is kind of sandy over here, but after a foot deep it gets like pure clay. I was using this shovel to dig. Nice sharp edge, perfect for digging, but there's a better tool to penetrate the clay, and it's something that you probably see in the old mine. It's an adze, and this one breaks down the clay really well because it's nice and sharp. I'm going to use this flat edge instead of this pointy edge, and I'm gonna try to break into hopefully another foot, and after that we're going to amend the soil with compost. So I dug my hole as much as I could. Unfortunately, I couldn't go deeper because there are some bricks here that I ran into, and I cannot break them down, unfortunately. But fortunately, there's little tiny holes and crevices, so you know, hopefully the papaya will grow well, and hopefully you're blessed with way better soil than I am. So papaya basically needs well draining soil, and it cannot tolerate wet feet, so not too much water holding capacity. This soil, it's good, it just needs to be amended with compost, and that's what we're gonna do. We're going to mix 1-to-1 ratio of organic compost. Over here is a local Hawaii brand from New Organic, and it's a pretty good dark compost over here. So we're gonna add to the native soil. So just gonna dump the whole bag. I'm just gonna mix it by hand, and actually going to fill in the hole with some of the native soil and some of the compost. Work that compost in, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose fertilizer. This is all organic. I'm gonna leave some links in the description so you can easily check that out if you'd like. So this one is all-purpose fertilizer. And grab 1 cup, which is about a handful or so. I'm just going to drop it in there, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna work it in and mix it with the native soil and compost, because the soil here is really poor soil, very clay soil, but fortunately it kind of breaks down. As you can see, it breaks down easily, so that's a good thing. But once you go deeper, it's straight up clay, which is not good. So we're just gonna have to see what happens to this. So work that in. So after you work your compost and the fertilizer into your native soil, make a nice bowl shaped space to put your potted plant into. Okay, next you're gonna grab your potted plant and make sure the soil is moist in there. It's gonna make it a lot easier to remove from the pot. So we're gonna grab the potted plant and carefully flip it upside down while holding down the soil with one hand, and with the other hand I'm gonna hold the bottom of the pot, carefully flip it upside down and tap on it from the bottom, from the side, wiggle it, and there it is. Try not to expose the roots to the sun. If it's a little root bound, carefully separate the roots without damaging it, very lightly. This one's a little root bound, which is okay, it's not so bad. And try not to expose the roots to the sun. And once you're done, put it in the hole. So now it's in the hole, and you're gonna backfill, you're gonna fill. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix in 1 to 2 cups of organic composted chicken manure. This is also a fertilizer. And it's a good source of nitrogen. So I'm just gonna work that in to the soil. And spread it around the plant. Once you fill it in with the amended soil, I like to make a volcano shape around the plant. As you can see, it's a nice circle and with raised edges, so this is like a crater rim. And the reason for doing so is that it keeps the water and the nutrients in closer to the plant. And I also surrounded it with rocks just to hold the soil and the nutrients in place. And the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna water it. Water the base, around the base of the plant, not the leaves, especially when it's sunny. But if the water gets on the leaves, it's okay too. Okay. See how it keeps the water inside the crater? So that's the whole reason for creating this crater shape. And I'm gonna let the water sink in, and then I'm gonna water again. That way the water penetrates deep and it takes the nutrients deep as well. And as you can see, I actually have 3 papaya trees in one spot. I am going to separate them once they get used to this new environment. Otherwise they can be cut down and you just save the most prominent looking one, because you want just one papaya tree spaced about 5 feet apart or so. That way they don't get in each other's way. And at this point you're all done. Make sure you don't overwater the papaya. Make sure you do give it a really sunny spot, and do fertilize it with organic amendments every once in a while. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out at organichawaii.org. Aloha.